Welcome to Bump, the most candid, open and brutally honest show about motherhood, fatherhood and babies. Brought to you by my expert midwife, Bubble and Cyberjammies. Welcome, Portia.
Thank you.
So lovely to finally meet you.
You too.
Now, I follow Portia on Instagram and I fell in love with her over her Instagram. And I think you followed me, didn't you, as well? Because I bumped into Portia's husband, who is Ore, Strictly Champ. So we're talking sleep. Mm-hmm. Now, you and me were both at an awards event last night, weren't we? Yeah. And I thought when I saw you, I wonder how much sleep she's going to get tonight. How was it?
Oh my gosh, you always pay for it. You have a nice night out and you think, go on, living the life.
Yeah, woo!
Mum's out. And then you're like, actually, oh no, I am still a mum. And when I get home, I've still got a baby to look after.
And that baby doesn't know that I've been out. No. And that baby's probably actually got to wake up a bit earlier.
Oh gosh, yeah. So we got in glamorously at about 1 a.m. Literally living our best life, like getting in, like, you know, lipsticks.
We can do this.
Smudge, woo! And then like Roman's, you can hear him on the monitor start going, and you're like, no. Shh, all creeping around,
really
trying to get
quiet.
the dress off. Oh, he's getting his suit off.
Yeah.
Really, and then he's awake. So we probably had about four straight hours sleep once he'd gone back
just
down.
Just exhausting, isn't it?
I know. You pay for those nights off.
You do. I feel a bit like, in the beginning, when Cooper was first born, because Roman and Cooper are the same age, aren't they? So they're both 9 months. I felt in the beginning, I just seemed to have this power within me to stay awake. But now, I'm more tired than I was in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Or do you feel the opposite way?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, actually, because they lull you into this safe sense of like security in the sense of you get a lot more sleep now. So you can have one night where they sleep all the way through and you think, I'm winning, I'm absolutely winning. This is it. They're going to be sleeping all the way through. Yeah. And then you wake up next morning, you're like, oh gosh, yeah, I remember those nights. And then the next night you're awake all night and it's even worse because it's like you come right back down with a bump and you're like, oh gosh. Yeah, whereas like those early days, even though no one prepares you for how tired you're going to be, something just happens and you can just stay awake. I don't know, that may be your milk.
Somebody said to me, and now I told Danny about this, and he likes to use a lot of these facts against me, and I don't know why I keep telling him facts, but I said to him that someone had told me you have this hormone when you first have a baby that's produced that is meant to keep the woman awake. It's like, I don't know, it's like a primal thing. So I told Danny that, and Danny was like, yeah, but you can do the night shift because you've got that hormone. And I was like, and he keeps using it still. I'm like, sweetheart, the hormone's gone. The hormone is dead. It's not there in my system anymore. From Roman being a baby, how was the sleep gone for you?
I think, well, those very early days, like everyone, I mean, you're just up every, what seems like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you were
I solely breastfed, and Ore was, well, it was even harder actually, because Ore, we had Roman, and then Ore went on the Strictly tour. So he was away. So we
had quite similar beginnings, because Ore was away and Danny was filming The Voice Kids.
So I saw like, that's why I started following you, because we were literally doing the same thing. Yeah, it was really tricky, because I think, you know, there's so many single mums out there doing it, which is amazing. And when you've got your husband, you suddenly have them there and then they're off. You know, that support that you suddenly had, you're like, oh gosh, so you're suddenly the sole parent doing all those night feeds. And my mum was amazing, but it was so hard. And I just remember sitting there thinking, the evening's coming up, because that's when I found it the hardest.
Yeah. It's quite lonely, isn't it? Like,
so lonely.
I always find that, well, not so much now, but before when Cooper was waking up like every hour, that was at the worst. I just felt so lonely because there's not much, well, it's so quiet. Everyone's asleep. You just feel like you're completely like on your own in that situation, don't you?
Oh, totally. And you just can't believe like the tiredness, and you're just like, please go to sleep. That's all you want to do. Yeah. But yeah, you're staying awake. I mean, I used to just sit there watching like Casino Bingo, like because there's nothing else on. I was too tired to turn the channel over. I remember just watching it, thinking, oh gosh, please go to sleep. I can't watch another casino bingo as it just spins round. Number 17.
Portia's got a really bad gambling problem. We don't know why.
I just watched it, and even now, like I always make the joke. I go, oh, I recognise that woman.
Yeah,
it's like
no,
casino bingo advert.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like they were my early days where you just think, wow, and yeah, your days just roll into evenings,
They do,
and
don't they?
the days go so quick because they're sleeping, which is when they sleep in the day.
And then you don't.
And then all through the night, yeah. And I used to, when it came to the morning at 6 o'clock, and the telly would come back on, and it'd be, you know, Good Morning
Actual
Britain or BBC
talking
Breakfast. Yeah, and you'd
about
be like,
things.
I've done the night.
Yeah,
I've done it. That's how I used to feel. Like I really used to think, oh God, it's the daytime now. Good.
Yeah, you were almost happy to see daylight, weren't you? Because it was like, that's normal. It's normal to be awake during the day.
Yeah,
So now I'm back into normal life. And then at night, it's just like this completely different universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, do you have the monitor on your side of the bed?
Yeah, always mine, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever am fully asleep. I feel like I'm just in this like state of semi-awakeness for the entire night.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I feel so tired. And it's funny because Danny, the other day, I had my first night away with Danny looking after Cooper on his own. And Danny said to me the next day, I get what you mean about the not sleeping properly, because you're just so tuned in to hearing everything. Especially because I'm deaf in one ear, and if I turn onto my good side, I'm so aware that I am then deaf to the world. So I'm like, I kind of have to like sleep with my head semi off the pillow, so that ear is just a little bit open to sound.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I just feel like you don't ever properly relax.
No.
I've got a few products here actually that, well, I used when Cooper was little. One of them a lot, one of them not so much.
Yeah.
You said you had this but didn't actually end up using it.
No.
But I did. This is Ollie the Owl. And he makes white noise and heartbeats and has a little glowy tummy if you want the light on. And it was really good for Coops because I don't know whether Roman was the same, but I find Coops just went to sleep a little bit better with just a little bit of sound, like shushing. They need. I wonder if there's one that shushes.
Yeah, I think there
must be, mustn't there?
I had Whisper the Bear, I think it was called, that made like a sort of
shush
noise. Yeah. So
next baby, I'm going to get a shushy one.
Well, for the first, I think maybe 2 months, I had my phone on, like near him with a hairdryer noise.
Yes. Was it Sleepy Sounds, the app?
Yeah, I think so.
Brilliant app.
And I was like, oh, made a joke, something like, oh, that's because you used to blow dry your hair all the time. He's used to that noise in your tummy.
Is. Do you know, it probably is though.
Always in the hairdressers.
Yeah. Now not so much.
So,
like,
and so I went through the Sleepy app, just having a look, and I was like, oh, there's a hairdryer one. Like, started playing it, and it really helped him in those sort of. He doesn't have it now.
No, Cooper doesn't have anything
No, he
now.
likes it. He does.
Silent.
He's fine with it silent.
Yeah.
And we're silent when he goes to it. But in those early months, yeah, it really helped
a bit
to
of
have a bit
noise.
of white noise. Yeah.
If anybody wants to look at that app, it's called Sleepy Sounds because I've still got it on my phone actually. This, however, love it. And we were talking about this, weren't we?
Yeah.
Love it as a night light because you can change the brightness of the light. However, so I was saying to you before, when I first, just before we had Cooper, I was like, right, we must get the room to the perfect temperature. So got it down, I think it's 18 to 20 degrees it should be. And I was so cold, I couldn't sleep. So I was like, there's no way a little tiny newborn baby is going to be able to sleep. So we kind of didn't go off the temperature gauge. It was more of a nightlight, and you used it in that way as well, didn't you?
It was really weird actually, because when I first got this, and I'd probably say that for the first 3 months, I lived by this.
Yeah.
I used to take it into like every room that I was in.
Yes.
Like even in my parents' front room, in the early days when we stayed with parents, they had a log fire in the front room. And I'd be going, Mum, it's 20.1. We need to turn the temperature down now. Baby's going to get too hot. And my mum just used to look at me like, you've gone mad. She was like, it's not too hot in here. It's lovely and warm. Roman's got a little sleep suit on. He's absolutely fine. I'm like, no, Mum, it does say on the back of this thing that it says it's very hot.
Yes, it says this baby's going to die.
Yeah, so you live by it. And every time it would change colour, I was like, oh my gosh, do I need to put an extra lay on him?
Yeah.
Please, can someone tell me?
His hands are cold. I don't know what to do.
It's so weird. But it helps you in that sense of like, you feel like you're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I just use it at the night light. You feel your own,
You do.
the temperature yourself.
You get more confident in your own mother's instincts, don't you?
If
as
you're
time
warm,
goes on.
they're going to be warm.
Yeah.
If you're cool, they're going to be cool. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just gauge it then, don't you?
Just to end, if you were to give anyone, any new mums, advice on kind of like sleep and baby sleeping, what would you say? What advice would you give?
Now, it's one of those classic situations where people used to come up to me when I was pregnant and they would be like, sleep when you can before. Yeah. Get as much sleep, and you'd be like, you are having a laugh, aren't you? I'm so pregnant, I can't sleep anyway. Yeah. I'm in for it now. I would say, you can't sleep when you're pregnant anyway.
No,
you're tossing and turning and everything.
Especially when you're at the end.
Yeah, I'd say 2 bits of advice actually. I would say you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do
Good
it.
Bit of advice.
You can do it, because literally, like in those first few days, you think you're going to die of tiredness, and you think you're never going to come out the other side. Yeah. Those first 3 months, you're like, I am never, ever, ever going to feel better or be able to get myself dressed and go out.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Shower.
I don't know how, but you can.
Yeah.
And 2, if you, on the power of Instagram, because in the middle of the night, I actually made some really good friends.
Did you?
Yeah, that we used to message
chatting?
on Instagram and chatting, and I just and you can even just do like hashtag like mum, hashtag, and you can just start making friends with people like online, and that kept me going in the night time.
Because I would,
I'd just message people and say, hey, are you up? And invariably, a lot of mums are.
Yeah.
But in the early days, they'd be like, yeah, I am. There's a lot of groups and things that you can sign up to. And when you've got baby in one hand, one arm feeding, and you've got your phone in the other, if you've got like Facebook friends or Facebook group, and you can just have a chat, and you can just be like, how long have they been feeding for?
Yeah,
45 minutes. What about you? It just keeps you going.
That's a really good bit of advice. That is very good advice. I wish I'd have done that. I was there going, Instagram's not refreshing. Well, thanks, Portia. That was lovely. I'm so happy we've finally met and chatted.
In our PJs as well.
In our PJs. What a better way. Shame we've not got a glass of wine.
Hey, next time. Next time.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Thanks so much for watching Bump. If you want to watch the playlist, then click here. And if you want to watch last week's episode, then click here.